and Giuseppe Nambacan. In this video, we will be presenting to you our chosen product-oriented assessment, which is poetry. Now, what is poetry? Poetry evokes a concentrated imaginative awareness of an experience or a specific emotional response through language chosen and arranged for its meaning, sounds, and rhythm. Poetry is important as it builds reading, writing, listening, and speaking skills, and it helps learners to be exposed with words they haven't heard before by listening them in the context. Students therefore write poetry to express their feelings, emotions, thoughts, imaginations, and their unique experiences. Poetry also encourages creative and critical thinking. We will be producing a poetry with the theme Solidarity. This will be graded by using the holistic and analytic rubrics. The holistic rubric for poetry has 4 evaluative criteria with a corresponding rating scale with a total of 40 points. The first criterion is the poem is outstanding in every way. It is well structured and all the lines are coherent. It begins with an appealing introduction, followed by sentences with lines that contains imagery, rhetorical devices, and with rhythm, and ends with a clear message. The poem is clear, complete, comprehensive, and relevant to the given theme. There are no errors in spelling, format, grammar, and contains excellent word choice. It also presents a creative title related to the poem. This is equivalent to 31 to 40 points. For the second criterion, we have a good poem is adequate in most areas. The poem is coherent, well structured, and clear, but a few parts require a light editing. It has a minimal imagery and rhetorical devices, but still with rhythm and show relevance to the given theme. There are a few errors in spelling, format, grammar, and word choice. It presents a good title that is relevant to the theme. This is equivalent to 21 to 30 points. Now, the third criterion is a fair poem is lacking in majority of areas. It is generally unorganized and unfocused. The message of the poem is relevant to the given theme, but not that clear. Most of the lines are underdeveloped with unclear imagery and no rhythm. There are frequent errors in spelling, format, grammar, and word choice. The title shows little logical relation to the poem. Its only saving grace is that despite all the errors, there appears to be a legitimate effort put forth by the writer. This is equivalent to 11 to 20 points. The last and fourth criterion is a poor poem generally needs further explanation. There are significant problems throughout. The message is often lacking and visual imagery is vague, lack of focus, and organized. The poem shows no understanding of basic line structure, coherent stanzas, and overall theme. Its title has no logical relation to the poem. The effort on the part of the writer is not enough and perceives lacking in general areas. This is equivalent to 0 to 10 points. Next is analytic rubric. This rubric contains 4 evaluative criteria with 4 corresponding rating scales. The first rating scale is beginning, which has 0 to 2 points, developing 3 to 5 points, accomplished 6 to 8 points, and exemplary 9 to 10 points. The first criterion is title of the poem. For beginning, it presents a title that is not clearly associated to the poem. Second, for developing, its indicator is presents a title related to the poem. Third is for accomplished, its indicator is presents creative title related to the poem. And for exemplary, its indicator is presents a creative and appealing title that summarizes the message of the poem. second criterion is organization. For beginning, its indicator, the sequencing of words and phrases is random. The reader can find no evidence of thoughtful ordering ideas. For developing its indicator, the sequencing of words and phrases is very confusing, and the reader may need to use his or her own knowledge to determine the ordering of ideas. For accomplished, its indicator, the sequencing of words and phrases is somewhat logical, and the reader is able to follow the ordering of ideas with minimal effort. Lastly, for exemplary, the indicator, the sequencing of words and phrases is logical, and the reader is able to follow the ordering of ideas easily. Now, for the third criterion, we have word choice and main idea. Now, for beginning, its indicator is the poem uses general or ordinary terms to describe an idea. The words do not develop the main idea or the message. Now, for developing, its indicator is the poem uses general or ordinary terms to develop the main idea. The message and its relevance to the theme have a sense of ambiguity. For accomplish, its indicator is the poem uses several descriptive words to develop the main idea. The message is clear and but less relevant to the theme. The fourth one, we have exemplary. Its indicator is the poem uses many precise, vivid, and descriptive words to develop the main idea. The message is clear, comprehensive, and relevant to the given theme. Now, for the last and fourth criterion under the analytic rubric is creativity. For beginning, its indicator, the lines in the poem had no imagery, rhetorical devices, and rhythm. For developing its indicator, the lines in the poem contain less imagery and rhetorical devices and no rhythm. For accomplished, its indicator, the lines in the poem contain minimal imagery and rhetorical devices, but with rhythm. And lastly, for exemplary, its indicator, the lines in the poem contain imagery, rhythm, and rhetorical devices. Now, those are the analytic and holistic rubrics that we will be using to rate the poetry. This is our finished product, a poetry. Now we are going to read it. Dream It Possible by Giuseppe Tinambakan and Priscilla Caputol. Incline your ears and hear the words of the wise, that I make you know the certainty of the words of the truth like a dice. As soon as land was sighted, the men began to show their real feelings. Mutiny is in the air floating. Lands are filled with crimes of blood, and the violence covered the world with flood. We are men of war, all of us. The snares of death confronted us. Justice and truth quaked and were shaken. The human right stood upright, but it was taken. Now I have seen myself in two places, shaken and worn by other people's faces. Run fast and cry without warning. Just when can I reach the morning? Harmony hides in the dark shadows, strange as if light twists and turns. But do not fear, for those who are with us, those who are near us, keep holds of their words to stick among all odds. For us not to fear, we billion people must seek what unite us, not what separate us. Take down those gigantic walls. Bring people together as equal. Take communication into full action, and let peace become world's domination. Equity, well-being, and reciprocity stand tall in this judgmental society. Take a step forward without forgetting that solidarity is everything. For in this world of diversity, it will never matter as much as unity. Conquer boundaries, gender, culture, religion, and race, for equality must bloom in full grace. Up above the clouds of doubt, turn your fears inside out. We may never tell how close we are. It may seem near yet so far. Surrender never, even when we break down, until we reach solidarity into the golden crown. That would be all. Thank you.